Well, I planned on going into Fort Wilkins State Park just to dump my tanks and fill up water, which, by the way, costs $10 with the pass. So you get free entry into the park with the pass and then just pay to dump. But I decided this is a rare opportunity to sightsee. It's like an outdoor living museum, so I get to take Sadie with me. Very rare that I get to do this, so I'm going to take a walk through. Looks really cool. So copper was discovered in the peninsula in the 1830s, and by the 1840s, the big copper rush was taking place, just like the gold rush in California. And it saw a flood of fortune seekers moving into the peninsula.
A report to the Michigan legislature detailing its field study of the Upper Peninsula was widely circulated among Eastern businessmen.
The government was concerned about disorder and violence, and the Lake Superior shipping companies, the people who were interested in the shipping trade, those who were literally invested, actually asked the government to build and aid navigation so that essential supplies could be shipped in and copper moved. So in 1844, Fort Wilkins was established at the direction of Secretary of War William Wilkins.
Is this what you do all day?
Well, just about.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta take breaks to do cleaning and they're bringing me clothes. You know, they get 6 changes of clothes per month that I wash. And I do the laundry for 4 of the enlisted men, so 24, and then my husband and myself and my son. So it seems like I'm doing laundry just about every day.
The living history of the Fort Wilkins State Park was one of my favorite parts about it. So every summer, Northern Michigan University students dress in 1867 to 1870 costumes and act as if they're living at Fort Wilkins. It's 130 years ago. I was a little confused by this at first when I was asking questions, but they stay in character. She stayed in character the whole time I was talking to her, and other visitors were talking to her, talking about her role in the camp and how she takes in extra laundry for money. And it was really cool. Really, now I wish I'd asked her more questions. Oh my gosh, a kitchen, a bakery. Oh, can you imagine what this smelled like? Bread baked on an open fire. Oh, there's an oven in there. You see that? Oh my gosh. I remember fresh bread as a kid. In fact, I was just writing about that in my memoir. I had an aunt and uncle who had a farm, a Black Angus farm. And every time we went there, it always smelled like fresh baking bread. Oh, I still remember it. There was nothing like, I don't know if it's the same these days. Wheat's different. But man, I remember with real butter from their farm. Yeah. Kind of hard to imagine. All of this happened really because they discovered copper here, and that's really what put this part of the state on the map, this part of the country on the map for white people. But there is actually evidence that Native Americans had been mining copper for thousands of years before white settlers came here. They dug shallow ditches to mine the copper, and they used it for their tools. I didn't know that. So the post was built basically to keep law and order in the area, as it was flooded with people from all over the country coming to make a fortune in copper. So the post was built in 1844, but by 1846 the United States war with Mexico required that the garrison be replaced and shipped to the war front. Fancy. But in 1867, right after the American Civil War, the post was reoccupied by the U.S. Army. We find the officers and ladies pleasant people. Sure did get fancier. Look at that. I guess as they settled and brought more stuff. Wow. The bar. The store. It's the store. Oh yeah, look, it's the store. Wow. The fort was not only here to help keep the peace for all of the people arriving because of the copper, but also to keep the peace and protect them from the Native Americans. There was a treaty in 1843 leasing land out from the Native Americans, which allowed the government to remove them from the peninsula when necessary. An established military post was necessary. As frontier miners started coming to the harsh land, the government worried that the treaty would not be upheld between the Native Americans and the unfamiliar settlers. So they militarized the northern tip of the peninsula as fast as possible to ensure the safety of the interlopers. It was later abandoned and completely closed in August of 1870, and it became a state park in 1923. What a waste. All of this, and it was in operation for what, 30 years? Not even. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this living history tour of Fort Wilkins with me. If so, be sure to subscribe below. I do so much real life, real travel in my RV across the country, so stay tuned for more to come. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time. In the meantime, be happy, be free, and be kind.